Now, the U.S. is bracing for what experts say could be the hardest and saddest week of the pandemic.
And the DNC has already been postponed due to the pandemic, but Joe Biden says the Democratic Party may need to take its precautions one step further.
Plus, the Queen makes a rare televised speech, her message as the world fights the coronavirus.
This is News 3 Now at 5:30.
Thanks for joining News 3 Now at 5:30. I'm Amanda Quintana.
And I'm Melissa Cam.
The number of confirmed deaths from coronavirus has risen to 71 in Wisconsin, and there are more than 2,300 cases. Milwaukee County is still the county being hit the hardest, with nearly 1,200 confirmed cases and 39 deaths. Dane County has the second highest number of patients with 9 deaths. Earlier today, health officials confirmed the first case of COVID-19 in Waushara County. Officials say that patient is isolated. Health officials say a second person has died in a coronavirus outbreak at a nursing home in Sheboygan. The death was announced today as a team with the Wisconsin National Guard established a mobile testing site at the Sunny Ridge Nursing and Rehabilitation Center. At least 30 staff members at the facility have had to enter quarantine. Roughly 350 Wisconsin National Guard members were mobilized when Governor Evers declared a public health emergency on March 12th.
The U.S. is bracing for what's expected to be, quote, a bad week ahead in the battle against the pandemic. Dr. Anthony Fauci making it clear the next week will be a harsh one. The same grim message coming from Surgeon General Dr. Jerome Adams, who says everyone needs to do their part for the next 30 days.
Quite frankly, this is going to be our Pearl Harbor moment, our 9/11 moment, only it's not going to be localized. It's going to be happening all over the country. And I want America to understand that. But I also want them to understand that the public, along with the state and the federal government, have the power to change the trajectory of this epidemic.
At the center of the pandemic, some hopeful news from New York. The number of deaths are dropping for the first time, but it's too early to tell if that means the spread is slowing down. White House Coronavirus Response Coordinator Dr. Deborah Birx says the next 2 weeks are not the time to be at the grocery store or pharmacy. It's time to keep your family safe. The Navy captain who was removed from command after a warning about a coronavirus outbreak on his ship has tested positive for the virus. The New York Times reports that Brett Crozier started experiencing symptoms while still on board the USS Theodore Roosevelt. Last week, he wrote a memo saying, quote, decisive action was needed to deal with the outbreak on the ship. The Navy then removed him from command on Thursday, saying he should not have publicized the memo. At least 155 sailors on board have tested positive.
Former Vice President Joe Biden is suggesting the Democratic National Convention may have to be altered if the coronavirus is still an issue. The convention has already been pushed back from July to August, but Biden says other changes may be necessary.
Well, we're going to have to do a convention, may have to do a virtual convention. I think we should be thinking about that right now. The idea of holding a convention is going to be necessary, but we may not be able to put 10, 20, 30,000 people in one place, and that's very possible.
Biden currently has a commanding lead in delegates needed to clinch the Democratic Party's presidential nomination. Biden also says he plans to wear a mask in public, heeding new federal guidelines. Madison Mayor Satya Rhodes Conway is one of 9 Wisconsin mayors asking the state's legislature to meet tomorrow and protect voters during Tuesday's election. In a letter to Department of Health Services Secretary Andrea Palm, the mayors write, quote, every other state that faced this issue during the pandemic has crafted a solution that respects democracy and protected the health of their citizens. We must do the same. Governor Evers ordered a special session yesterday, which was quickly adjourned until tomorrow. Evers urged lawmakers to take up legislation that would move to an all-mail-in election and change the deadline for receiving ballots by more than a month to May 26th. But state Republicans want to stop votes that come in after April 7th from being counted. U.S. Supreme Court justices are reviewing an emergency petition from the Republican National Committee and Wisconsin Republicans. The petition asks the court to freeze a lower court's opinion that extends the state's absentee ballot deadline until April 13th. The Supreme Court's doors are currently closed to the public amid the pandemic, but the justices are still working remotely.
Well, with no change to this week's election just yet, cities all over the state are drastically consolidating polling locations. Milwaukee is down to 5, and the head of the city's election commission says he's still looking at what kind of help they could get from the National Guard. But he's skeptical about whether they would have the training to do the job. Britain's Queen Elizabeth made the second made a rare broadcast address to the nation today, urging people to practice self-discipline and resolve in the face of the coronavirus pandemic.
Together we are tackling this disease, and I want to reassure you that if we remain united and resolute, then we will overcome it.
Speaking in a pre-recorded video shot at Windsor Castle, the Queen thanked frontline staff at the UK's National Health Service, caretakers and others carrying out essential roles. The Queen rarely makes national addresses, typically speaking to the country only at Christmas time and when a new parliament is installed. The UK has reported more than 4,000 coronavirus-related deaths, the fourth highest in the world right now.
British Prime Minister Boris Johnson has been admitted to the hospital after suffering from coronavirus symptoms for 10 days. Officials say it's a precautionary measure recommended by his doctor. Johnson is in a London hospital where he will stay for, quote, as long as needed. Pope Francis is telling young Catholics to not be afraid to put their lives on the line for others during the pandemic. The Pope held a Palm Sunday Mass in a deserted church this morning, surrounded only by a small handful of priests and nuns, all who kept a safe distance from each other. The Pope said the real heroes in this crisis are those giving themselves in order to help others. Let's get a look at your first warned weather with Dana Fulton. Really felt like spring today, Dana.
It really did. This whole weekend actually has been a nice little ray of sunshine. Plenty of sun this afternoon, and this evening things are going to stay quiet and clear. Here's a live look with our Edgewater Sky Cam right now. We don't have anything new moving in overnight. Doppler track will stay quiet for the start of Monday, but we are looking at some rain chances developing later on. Temperature-wise, we'll drop to the mid-30s for overnight lows. That's pretty seasonable for this time of year. Skies will become partly cloudy and then mostly cloudy with rain chances creeping back in to start off the week. We'll take a closer look at what's ahead for the next few days in just a few minutes.
Thanks so much, Dana. Well, as we all spend time inside quarantining, some of us with our pets, we asked experts at UW Health whether our furry friends can get sick from coronavirus.
We weren't aware of any human beings who've been infected by a pet. The risk with pets would be if you were like a known COVID positive patient, say self-isolating in your home, and the dog was going between your isolation room and then the rest of the family. It's not so much that the dog was sick and contagious, but that you might have contaminated the dog's like fur. And then if that dog goes out into the living room and then could affect other people.
Dr. Pothoff says to be safe, include your pet as part of the small inner circle you're limiting yourself to, and don't let neighbors pet your dog or have contact with your dog, as that could spread the virus. More local news now. Dane County Executive Joe Parisi says the county's small business pandemic support grant now has $800,000 worth of grants to give to local businesses in need. The program was launched Wednesday with $250,000 available for local businesses. Applications for the grant will be accepted through June 15th. Still to come on News 3 Now at 5:30. Find out how to fix your Facebook privacy settings to limit what the company can do with your personal information.
And tonight on News 3 Now at 10, see how the Milton community is coming closer together by dancing. That's tonight at 10.
The road to deer season madness is at Sloan's. Get a John Deere and your Sloan deal. Get 4.9% for 48 months or $69 per month on a John Deere Z345R. Get a John Deere now during deer season madness and
For over 80 years, Nissan has been with you through thick and thin. And now is no different. We're offering payment options for current owners. And our service departments are here to help. And for future owners, we're offering no payments for 90 days on 14 models. This is help when you need it.
To our Pick and Save associates, for the long hours and late nights, for the miles traveled and the shelves restocked, for making a difference in our customers' lives, for doing so much more than your job. Everyone at the Kroger family of brands and our customers say thank you. In a time when daily life feels a bit uncertain, your hard work is keeping America fed. Pick and Save, fresh for everyone.
This is online learning. Today, it's more relevant than ever. This is You, a person looking for a lasting career. And this is Herzing University's Everywhere Classroom, where you can earn a degree in nursing, healthcare, business, and IT, anywhere, anytime. Take an online course free and get comfortable with online learning. That makes a degree from Herzing University more relevant than ever. I'm possible at Herzing. Learn more today.
The road to deer season madness is at Sloan's. Get a John Deere and your Sloan deal. Get 4.9% for 48 months at $139 per month on a John Deere Z720E. Get a John Deere now during deer season madness and powered up with Sloan.
Google is releasing data on people's movements in order to help combat the pandemic. The tech giant will publish a series of what it's calling community mobility reports. The reports show the kinds of places people are visiting in 131 countries and regions. The idea is to track movement trends to help inform and influence the response to the pandemic from governments and public health officials. Like Google, Facebook tracks us even when we're not on Facebook. Through relationships with hundreds of thousands of apps, websites, and other services, the company receives a constant stream of information about what most of us do online and even in the real world.
Yeah, and if all of this sounds like oversharing, Leah Lynchide for Consumer Reports explains that you may be able to limit what Facebook does with the information that it collects.
Facebook knows a lot about us. It gets all sorts of information about Consumer Reports tech editor Thomas Germain from dozens of different apps and websites.
OkCupid, some details about my dating life. There's Uber, AT&T, lifehacker.com, ZocDoc. There's all kinds of personal information here that you might not realize is being sent to the company.
Not surprisingly, people are concerned about where that data goes, something the company's founder and CEO once addressed on Capitol Hill when he vowed to protect people's data following the 2018 Cambridge Analytica scandal.
I think everyone should have control over how their information is used.
About a month ago, Facebook introduced what it calls off-Facebook activity settings, and CR has been taking a closer look.
What Facebook ultimately decided to do was give you a menu where you could see the last 6 months of updates that the company has received from third parties. And you can also go in and use a tool called Clear History. That doesn't actually delete your information, but it disconnects it from your account.
And there's no way to stop the company from collecting your off-Facebook data in the first place. But for some peace of mind, there is a way to limit what Facebook does with any new data going forward.
There's another setting called Manage Future Activity, and if you use this, you can essentially keep your history cleared by default. Other companies will keep sending Facebook information, but they won't be able to use it for targeted advertising, and they won't keep it tied to your account.
Turning off this setting will disable the Facebook login tool, which lets you sign into other apps and websites using your Facebook credentials.
So in a way, you are trading privacy for convenience, but for you, that might be worth it.
Now, finding these privacy settings isn't always easy. Consumer Reports has more step-by-step instructions to clear your history and manage your future activity on their website. Well, coming up on News 3 Now at 5:30, we could hit 70 degrees this week. Dana has the details in your first WARN forecast. That's coming up next.
Monday morning, Hattie's back with a look at our forecast for the week. And as many of us start to work from home, Consumer Reports has some tips on how you can do it more comfortably. We'll see you starting at 4:30 on News 3 Now this morning.
The road to deer season madness is at Sloan's. Get a John Deere and your Sloan deal. Get 4.9% for 48 months or $69 per month on a John Deere Z345R. Get a John Deere now during deer season madness and powered up with Sloan.
Coming together makes us stronger, and Ford is built to lend a hand, especially now, with 6-month payment relief. Buy a new Ford. We'll defer 3 payments and make 3 payments for peace of mind up to 6 months. Shop at Ford.com or contact your Ford dealer to find out more about home delivery and other vehicle service options. You have a lot to take care of. Let us help take care of you.
Please join Madison Magazine, News 3 Now, and Channel 3000 in supporting local businesses. For a complete list of vendors vendors, options, and hours of operation, go to MadisonMagazine.com. Thank you for supporting local businesses.
Ever since we opened Culver's, community has meant the world to us, especially in times like these when the going gets tough. That's why we're keeping our drive-thrus open, continuing to cook every meal to order as if you were a guest in our home. We want to be here for you, today and every day, sharing our smile and safely serving with all our heart. Caring for you and your family, it's our pleasure. Together, we'll get through this.
The road to deer season madness is at Sloan's. Get a John Deere and your Sloan deal. Get 4.9% for 48 months at $139 per month on a John Deere Z720E. Get a John Deere now during deer season madness and
Powered up with Sloan. News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Well, Amazon will most likely postpone its annual Prime Day sale. USA Today says Amazon's general counsel mentions the member reward day will be delayed at least until August. It's usually in July. Amazon is getting more orders than usual with people staying home during the pandemic. The shipping company has been trying to hire 100,000 more workers to meet the demand.
And Disney is ensuring annual pass holders they don't have to pay for periods when their theme parks are closed. If people paid up front for their passes, Disney says they can get a refund for the days the parks are closed, or Disney will extend the expiration date for the missed period. The Walt Disney Company is currently furloughing all employees not considered essential to operations. Let's get a look at your First Warn weather with Dana Fulton.
Turns out today it was really nice outside, a sunny Sunday, and as we look ahead to the next few days, our cloud coverage is really going to build back in, as well as the rain chances. The good news, though, it is going to stay mild outside for the start of the week. Temperatures won't drop back below average for the next several days. We're expecting shower chances to develop for Monday and some thunderstorms possible on Tuesday. With Tuesday, we're also expecting to see temperatures jump above 70 for the first time this season. Right now, our breeze is coming from the southeast. Overnight, we'll steadily become partly cloudy. Early tomorrow morning, we might see just a little bit of sunshine, but later in the afternoon, we have mostly cloudy skies and rain chances developing later in the day. Monday night into Tuesday, that's when we'll have the better opportunity for some heavier rainfall and some thunderstorms to pop up, but we're not looking at any severe potential to come along with these rain chances. In fact, for Tuesday, the severe weather outlook really puts all of the stronger storms further south, a marginal risk as you get into northern Illinois and a slight risk from Illinois into Indiana. So we're not even included in the conversation for the potential for any strong thunderstorms to develop with this rain chance coming through. We could see anywhere from 1/10 of an inch to about 1/4 of an inch of accumulation. Most of the totals are really staying further south. So this kind of on the lower end of the scale with our rain chances coming through for Monday. Again, Tuesday, and a slight chance for showers on Wednesday. But the rain clears out, and then it seems likely that we are going to be dry for most of our 10-day forecast. In fact, as we look towards the end of that in our 6 to 10-day outlook, it's not really seeming likely that we're going to jump above average for most of the Midwest. No big indicator that any systems will be marching in, and that's some good news. Things, again, still just a little saturated right now, so a nice little dry stretch. Could be some good news to start to really dry some things out, get rid of some of the standing water in spots. Tonight, temperatures will drop to the mid-30s, a little bit above average, but pretty seasonable for this time of year, and skies are steadily going to become partly cloudy. By tomorrow afternoon, we will be mostly cloudy with the chance for some isolated showers to develop in the afternoon and evening. High temperatures will be above average in the upper 50s, and then we get to see the low 70s. We're expecting low 70s for Tuesday with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms possible. Again, no severe threat, but we could see some heavier rain at times. A chance for showers on Wednesday with variably cloudy skies and high temperatures close to 60 degrees. There will be a slight chance for some showers early in the day on Thursday, but Thursday and Friday, notice that our temperatures are going to be in the mid-40s for both days towards the end of the week. Shower chances at night on Saturday, and then heading into Sunday for Easter Sunday. Seasonable temperatures, not much of a rain chance, but right now might have a slight chance for showers.
All right, that's some good news. Maybe some sunshine will help us all feel a little better.
That would be great.
Yes, thank you so much, Dana. Still ahead on News 3 Now at 5:30, we hear from the parents of a UW-Madison graduate who died of coronavirus this week at the age of 34. Stay with us.
road to deer season madness is at Sloan's. Get a John Deere and your Sloan deal. Get 4.9% for 48 months or $69 per month on a John Deere Z345R. Get a John Deere now during deer season madness and
Do Judge Jill Karofsky's weak sentences risk our safety? After a serial abuser and child predator shot a woman, Karofsky went easy on him, letting the monster off with only 8 years. When a violent criminal with a handgun and bags of drugs viciously assaulted a female police officer, Karofsky went easy again with a slap on the wrist, giving 2 years probation instead of prison. See the pattern? Tell Judge Karofsky no more weak sentences.
When we face adversity, we find a way through it. It's about taking care of each other. It's the small parts that make a big difference. At Chevy, we promise to do ours. We're offering current Chevy owners OnStar Crisis Assist services and Wi-Fi data. If you need a new Chevy, interest-free financing for 84 months with deferred payments for 120 days on many of our most popular models. You may even shop online and take delivery at home. It's just our way of doing our part.
Wow, you ready?
Yeah, let me just grab my wallet.
Uh-oh, I've seen this before. Wallet way too big, skinny jeans too skinny.
I'll just carry it.
Before you break something, you should know you don't actually need a wallet. With BMO Harris, you can just take cash out with your phone. Or if you need to, you can pay them with Zelle. That works? Yeah. You're stuck, aren't you?
Smile.
Woo! Those jeans are way too tight.
That feeling you get when no wallet is no big deal. That's the BMO effect.
the road to deer season madness is at Sloan's. Get a John Deere and your Sloan deal. Get 4.9% for 48 months at $139 per month on a John Deere Z720E. Get a John Deere now during deer season madness and
Get the facts with Reality Check, only on News 3 Now.
A Brookfield couple is grieving after the sudden death of their 34-year-old son in New York.
As Katie Crowther explains, doctors say it is likely that he died from COVID-19.
Donnie Fostner checked in with his parents regularly since moving to Brooklyn for a job at the New York Stock Exchange. But they didn't hear from him Wednesday.
By Thursday, he was taken by ambulance to the hospital and died soon after.
Jenny and Rod Fostner say a doctor called them Thursday, saying Donnie had developed a very high fever and appeared to have other symptoms of COVID-19.
I only got a minute. I didn't get any details, and I don't want any. But that she has to go to work every day and do this. And now she does it again today. And I was not the only mother she talked to.
Donnie's death, a shock, happening so fast. He was only 34 years old and didn't have any known underlying health conditions.
He was so careful. He did not take the subway. He did not take Ubers or Lyfts.
Getting more answers is difficult. Just in the past 24 hours in New York, 562 people are reported to have died of coronavirus. Hospitals and morgues are overwhelmed. Autopsies are not being done.
We have people fighting to get his remains out of that state, and so far it's working, and we put that in God's hands.
To make matters worse, Jenny, Rod, and their other children, Megan and Jack, have to grieve alone.
We're not built to bury our children. No. And it's just so hard that you can't hug the people, your family, your friends, and get the love that you need during a tough time like this. He was well loved by everybody. It's the best you can ask for from a child, for a parent.
Donnie attended Brookfield East High School and graduated from UW-Madison in 2007 with a degree in nuclear engineering and physics. He's survived by his parents and his younger siblings, Megan and Jake.
Wisconsin native and journeyman NFL kicker Tom Dempsey has also died from coronavirus. That's according to his former team, the New Orleans Saints. Dempsey kicked for 11 seasons in the NFL despite being born without toes on his right foot. The Milwaukee native kicked a 63-yard field goal in 1970. That was a record back then to help the Saints to a 17-16 win over the Lions. Its record stood for more than 40 years. Dempsey suffered from dementia and died yesterday at his retirement community in New Orleans. He was 73 years old. We'll be right back.
It's incredible! Tulane Stadium has gone wild.
The road to deer season madness is at Sloan's. Get a John Deere and your Sloan deal. Get 4.9% for 48 months or $69 per month on a John Deere Z345R. Get a John Deere now during deer season madness and
I'm Kelsey Grammer. My dad was gunned down at his home at the age of 38. 6 years later, my sister was brutally raped and murdered. When my father's killer was released, I found out through the National Enquirer. It seemed like a cruel joke. In my sister's case, I have been allowed a voice in the parole hearings of her killers. But that's not always true in Wisconsin. Marcy's Law ensures equal rights to victims and their families to be informed and heard. Please vote for additional rights for crime victims. Vote yes on Marcy's Law.
Go vote for Justice Daniel Kelly.
Who is Dan Kelly? On the Supreme Court, Dan Kelly rejected stronger anti-corruption rules and then ruled repeatedly in favor of his own wealthy campaign donors. There's a better choice. Jill Karofsky is a trial court judge, a former prosecutor, a victim advocate, and a mother of two.
On the Supreme Court, I'll make decisions based on the law and its impact on real people, not corporate donors.
Tough, fair, independent. Jill Karofsky for Supreme Court.
Everyone is trying to do their part, especially now. And your Ford dealer is built to lend a hand. If your vehicle needs service, just call. Ford service centers are essential to your community and are still open. Find out about pickup and delivery options from participating Ford dealers. Plus, they've implemented enhanced cleaning measures for added peace of mind. After all, you have a lot to take care of. Let us do our part and help take care of you.
The road to deer season madness is at Sloan's. Get a John Deere and your Sloan deal. Get 4.9% for 48 months at $139 per month on a John Deere Z720E. Get a John Deere now during deer season madness and
Welcome back. People all around the world have been spending their quarantines watching Netflix, and no show might be more popular than Tiger King. And if you're a fan, we have some good news for you. Jeff Lowe, the man who took over the zoo after Joe Exotic, says a new episode of Tiger King is on the way. On a podcast, Lowe said Netflix is adding an 8th episode to the series, set to debut next week. The documentary follows Joe Exotic, a gun-toting country western singer who has a passion for big cats, but things take a dark turn when he's arrested for a murder-for-hire plot. This show, it's pretty addicting. I know a lot of us here have been watching it.
Oh, it's
you
fantastic.
Can't help it.
I know. I watched it all in one day. That might make me a loser, but like seriously, I just couldn't stop. It was a cliffhanger at the end of every single one, so I had to keep on watching.
And everyone is doing it. They're just watching it at home. Good entertainment, but a crazy, crazy story.
Yeah,
oh, very
for
crazy.
Sure.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see the next one, right? Well, we're all trying to get some toilet paper right now. A man in northwestern England, he's found a way to let his neighbors win, that's right, win a few rolls. Aaron Davison is running a driveway bingo game that brings residents from all over his community together while respecting social distancing guidelines, of course. Other top prizes in the game include chocolate and alcohol, because when you're quarantined, you need chocolate, alcohol, and toilet paper. What else do you need, right?
Those are the 3 things.
Essentials.
I guess that everyone needs the best prizes you could win for now.
Yep.
Well, at least we have some sunshine around here. Today was beautiful.
This weekend was really fantastic. I know I got out on my bike today, and it seemed like everybody was practicing social distancing, even in their driveways, sitting, in lawn chairs 6 feet apart or whatever they had to do to make sure that they had that space. There's going to be a chance for some showers Monday. Thunderstorm chances developing at night into Tuesday. We'll be in the upper 50s tomorrow and the low 70s on Tuesday. Won't cool back down again until the end of the week with sun returning for Thursday and Friday.
All right. Thanks for joining us.